Hello, everyone. Welcome into another edition of the East AlabamaWorks video podcast series. I'm Brady, program manager at East AlabamaWorks. And as you know, East AlabamaWorks covers 7 counties of East Alabama. We are the Region 2 of the Alabama workforce regions, and we work directly with business and industry to find out what their needs are in the workforce. And then we pass that information back to educational entities, community colleges, universities, the community, politicians, and anybody who will listen, so that we can get our educational and training standards in our local community up to par for the industries who are going to be hiring our citizens. So one of the things we're going to talk about today is a new training program taking place in Gadsden. It's called Grace Academy, and it's part of Gadsden City Schools. And I'm happy to have with me today as my guest, Dr. Lana Bellew. Lana, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. We're glad to have any kind of press that we can get about our program.
Well, we just want to talk about Grace Academy and a couple of other things that you've got coming up, but start at the beginning. You know, we have really appreciated here at East AlabamaWorks our relationship with Gadsden City Schools and the efforts that Gadsden City Schools are making toward workforce development and making sure that their students graduate not only in a good place for moving on to community college or 4-year school, but if they want to go to work, they're in a position to go to work as well. They're workforce ready. So talk a little bit about those early conversations of putting Grace Academy together and why that was important for you and for the school system.
Okay. As you know, I'm the grant writer for Gadsden City Schools. So my role is to talk to the leaders, district leaders, tell me their vision, and then my job is to find the funding for this vision. Mr. Reddick, being the superintendent, was getting, I guess, requests and people in the community mentioned to him, other leaders in the school district, about doing something at the old Gadsden High School, where it had been closed and we had combined the high schools into one mega school. So the school was sitting there, some activities going on, but nothing, that we could have, it could have been a lot more, I will say that. So Mr. Reddick was going to try to do a program for sensory learning there. And we were looking for grants for sensory learning, kids that just did not want to be in a large crowd. A large school might overwhelm them. We have yet to find that grant. And in the meantime, I found a readiness grant for workforce development. And so I went to him, approached him. He had mentioned before, but it wasn't to this capacity, some things about workforce development. And so he changed the name Grace. It was going to be Gadsden Rehabilitation Program, and he changed it to Gadsden's Readiness and Career Education, and that's what Grace stands for. He looked at workforce needs. He looked at just the vision, and he decided we would write a grant to put in a commercial carpentry program, it's a commercial construction grant, commercial carpentry, electrical, and plumbing. And we met with people in the community who have these businesses. They came over to the old Gadsden High School. We showed them our vision. We said, we want this to grow. We want to add, every phase we'll add more to it. Anyway, long story short, we applied for the grant. And when we got it, there was money in the grant to renovate sections of that old high school in order to make it feasible for this program. We had it laid out. We knew exactly what we wanted to look like. And when we started peeling back layers, there was things that we were not prepared for. So therefore, it was going to be a timing issue. It was probably going to cost more than we had allotted in the grant. And we were ready to get going. So Facebook being such a great way to communicate in the area, we posted that we got the grant, and Alan Smith from Gadsden State, he wanted to meet with us, talk to us about our vision, and they just happened to have an empty building. And it was amazing. An old precision welding building. And so he got with Dr. Murphy and the powers that be, and it took a while, but we got that building. So having that partnership has been, it was a godsend. There's no other word. It could not have been more perfectly orchestrated. The building is open, it's large. We have, on one end, we have the carpentry, in the middle, we have electrical, and at the other end, we have plumbing. Everyone has their own entrance and exit. There's classrooms there to do the teaching because we teach the NCCER curriculum. We do OSHA 10. So we had to have a classroom setting too, but we wanted it to be more hands-on. We didn't want it to look like a classroom. We wanted it to be a lab setting where it's all hands-on. So I posted on Facebook with Mr. Reddick's permission that we got the grant, and I was very excited, and I wanted to share with everyone in the community that we got this grant. And we wrote into the grant that we were going to have students, of course, we wanted Gadsden City High School students to have this opportunity. Even if you're going to a four-year college, you might want to learn electrical, you might want to learn plumbing, carpentry. I mean, there's skills you need that you could work while you're at college, or you may want to go into building. So, I mean, it's just a great opportunity. So in the meantime, we added for adults to come, people out of school, no age limit, no background. So we're not competing with Gadsden State. They didn't have to have a GED. They didn't have to have a high school diploma. They could just come. Just, basically mammals. I was like, whoever wants to come, we want everyone to be able to be employable. We posted it on Facebook, and within 24 hours, it had been shared over 1,000 times.
Wow.
My phone started ringing at 4:17 the next morning. People who work third shift, and they were like, I want to sign up. And I was overwhelmed because I wasn't prepared for that kind of response. So anyway, I signed up too many people. I had said we would only have 15 people per cohort, like 15 people in plumbing, 15 in electrical, 15 in carpentry. I had like 25 in each area. So we ended up, and I think right now we're about 52 people that actually, after they came to orientation, and then we have students on top of those, and we don't mix the two, like 11:30 to 1:30 are our adults, and then the children come 1:30 to 3. And then starting today, we have a 3:30 to 5 carpentry class beginning.
Wow.
It's just, like I said, it's just been phenomenal. The response from the community has been unbelievable. Gadsden State has been unbelievable because their staff is coming over, talking to our people and saying, hey, can we get you in one of our programs? We found out yesterday a guy like 6 classes having his electrical degree, and they're giving them scholarship opportunities. I mean, it's just been unbelievable. The marriage between the two has just been, I can't say enough about how good Gadsden State has been to Gadsden City Schools. Mr. Reddick's vision to me is playing out every day, and it's so funny because every day I see him over at Grace. I might pass him on the road, but he goes and watch, he's there just to see. And we're amazed at what these people have learned. We have so many community partnerships, and it's people who own electrical companies, plumbing companies, and they come and they look at what our participants, we call them, are doing. And they're amazed. They're like, I have people who work for me for a year and they can't do the things they're doing because we don't have the lab setting to stop, allow them to get, let me show you what I'm doing. So it's just amazing. And I don't know if I even answered your question. I get so excited talking about Grace Academy. I'm so passionate about it.
That's a great overview of what you have going on, and that's the whole purpose of these training programs, is to get the attention of local companies who will then at the end of the program want to hire your students. Your students have learned enough to maybe do better than what they're doing in their current situation. Maybe they're underemployed and they're learning a new skill that makes them more marketable as a member of the workforce, and therefore they can go to a job that pays more money, has better benefits, they can better support their families and those kind of things. Let's go back to the grant first. One of the things we work with at East Alabama Works is the Alabama Craft Training Grant Program, and those are the grants that you took advantage of to go out and do the craft training grants. And it's a great opportunity for entities, whether they be commercial entities or nonprofit entities or whatever, to reach out and get some money for
Right.
these skilled trades in the construction industry. And basically, it needs to focus on commercial construction, because several years ago, the commercial construction industry in Alabama, recognizing the fact that they needed more well-trained options in the workforce, decided, they went to the legislature and said, if you'll help us put together this program, we want to pay for it. So the legislature had to create it, but the contractors themselves are paying into this program by adding $1 per thousand for their commercial construction permits. So when they go to the state and they get their or the county and they get their construction permits, $1 per thousand in value is added to that cost, but that money is then set aside for commercial training, skills training grants. So there's this money that's sitting out there. So now we have a board that runs that runs the program, and this money is available. You apply, you go through the grant process, and there are training programs in commercial construction throughout the state of Alabama being paid for, offering free training to citizens in the community because of this training program. And that's what you were able to tap into. Can you talk a little bit
It was
about
such
that
a
and about the
blessing.
process?
Yes, it was such a blessing. Again, I had reached out 1 year prior for another school district, and I think they told me that my email was hung in their spam, and they were cleaning out their spam. They found it, they sent it to me, and I no longer was working with that school district. And I said, well, wait. And that's when I went to Mr. Reddick. And I was like, wait, this is unreal. This is something, that we've been discussing. I think I found us a fund source. We had 6 days to get that grant in.
Oh, wow.
So everything, like I said, I can't tell you enough about how everything was perfectly orchestrated, and we just know that we're doing the right thing. And if anybody wants to come and see these people in Grace Academy working, and there's people walking through every day because we try to let everyone see it. We're doing a big PR campaign because we think it's so wonderful. But it's just, it speaks volumes, and it's so non-intimidating. No one's, like over there by themselves. Everyone's working in a group. It's just, you have a partner. We have 2 husbands and wives who are there together learning. And another thing about Facebook, a guy named Bob Kirsch, and I don't know if you know Bob, but he works with Kiewit Manufacturing. I think it's Kiewit, maybe Kiewit Construction. But anyway, I had gone to school with his wife, and they saw it on Facebook, and he contacted me, and he came to our orientation, and he was basically he calls himself I think he says he's a construction evangelist. He goes and he spreads the word about construction employment. And he was, just the offerings that his company has. Not only that, but for local people also came. And so we urge anyone who wants to come to Grace Academy to come and see what's going on, and see all the wonderful things that these people have learned. We're not stopping with just those 3. We're trying to make Grace Academy offer other things. Of course, this one grant just provides those 3 things, but we wrote a different grant. We try to stay on cutting edge, and I went to I think I contacted you. I know I saw you there, but I went to a job fair over at the venue, and I talked with a lot of the people there, and they were needing forklift drivers and CDL, people with CDL. And we went back and wrote Drive Academy, standing for Driving Through Virtual Education. And so we just received a grant for 5 simulators with CDL, 5 simulators with forklift. And so our people, either from Grace Academy or people who just off the street want that simulation training, then they will go to their employer to get their forklift certification, or they can go to a new employer or potential employer. And then Gadsden State, they would pick up there with Gadsden State and finish out the CDL. It's just, again, a wonderful opportunity to add these simulators. That was a $200,000 grant. We're thrilled. We think that's going to open a lot of doors too.
It will, and as you said, there is a need for forklift operators. There's a need for CDL drivers all the time. Our transportation industry sector folks are always talking about CDL training and the need for more drivers. And this grant came from the Appalachian Regional Commission. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And it is. It will start, I think we'll begin implementation in May, according to the ARC timeline. And then we hope to have that. We start our cohort 2 with Grace Academy May 22nd. So we're hopeful that some of those people will get the opportunity to do that in conjunction with their skills training when they're there for the summer cohort. And we're really excited. That was the vision that we can't tell you how, again, we waited and waited to find the right grant for that.
And both of these, it's tremendous in the Gadsden community to have this programming and to have this. Did your grants make it possible for you to offer all of this training at no cost?
No cost, not even a pencil. This is so amazing. Another thing about Edible County just buying into this, and it's we didn't do anything. It's just the community saw the need, But I said some of my people who were in the program, they were bending conduit. I just learned what that word was, but they were bending conduit in the electrical program. And I saw he had on a shoe that was almost something similar to a house shoe, and I went, we need safety boots, and so I put on, if you have any safety boot, or if you have any boots you don't need, and people who worked at Honda were donating. People, said, my son doesn't wear these anymore. I'd like to donate them. So we just made a boot room. Well, then the people who own Nissan of Gadsden, they were so amazing. And they also own the boot store, and they brought us these boxes of brand new boots and donated to Grace Academy. I mean, I can't tell you how, that was so touching to us. We're just amazed. So people are just giving, and we have other vendors who are giving us wood that probably couldn't be sold. It might have some things wrong with it, because we're teaching people to, use equipment, and they may saw it incorrectly, or, so they're giving us that. We're getting such donations. Plumbers Wholesale has been amazing. Even if they have something that's marked out, someone returns something, we can use it because we're learning how to put something in. So they've been, it's just been, I can't tell you, I'm so proud of this community. It's just been amazing.
Talk about let's separate out now the students from Gadsden City, from the community, and talk about just the students, how that works for the students. Do they get to make this part of their school day? Is that how that works? It's kind of like an elective program instead. If they don't want to go a full CTE route, but they can take this as an elective course. Is that correct?
It is. We wrote that everyone says, why do you have this time? Why is it 11:30 to 1:30 or 1:30 to 3? Well, I was basing it on the school calendar. The school bell system. But we decided that a lot of kids in fourth block have their elective. A lot of them have athletic PE. And when football is over, your athletic PE, if you're not playing a spring sport, you're just, what do you do during athletic PE? So Mr. Reddick felt like that would be the best bet. Let's take these athletes, let's develop them, and then other kids, they could rearrange their schedule. Here's the downfall. The only negative that I have that's happened is the timing of us getting the grant. The people already had their schedule set. It was hard to get, so we didn't have as many that could work it around their schedule as we will in the summer and in next fall, because as they're making their schedules for next fall, Grace Academy will be on the list for them to, come to choose. But it will be an elective class. And also, because our instructor can get, has a college degree, they are going to give them a 1-hour dual enrollment credit through Gadsden State for small tool certification. So we have another grant that will pay Gadsden State, pay that tuition for these students to earn that 1-hour credit. Wow. And that might not seem like a lot to some people, but it is. It jumpstarts. It gets them in the idea of, I can do college, But they will get, they'll get a credit, and that helps the school district. And then also, it can be part of their co-op. Like they may go to co-op 2 days a week and they'll come to Grace Academy 3, or they may co-op 3 days, they come to Grace Academy 2. So Dr. Asbury's been working through that with the co-op. But again, it came in the middle, not the middle, but after the semester had started. So it was difficult for some people to get their hours in. And that's another reason we put 3:30 class beginning today, to see if any of the kids when they get out of school want to come, because they couldn't work it with their schedule. So we're excited about that opportunity.
Talk about the members of the general public that are allowed to come. That's so it's unusual to be able to write a grant that works both ways for students and for the general public. And East Alabama Works has worked with other recipients of the craft training grants, and there have been issues with attrition and hanging on to the students, and the program taking too long. I'm working, I'm trying to raise my family, and I don't have that much time to earn this credential or whatever, so they end up not finishing the program. But how are you addressing those kind of things and making this attractive and available to the community, to the point you've had a tremendous response?
I think that the instructors are amazing. I think they are not having them come in first and sit down at a desk. We are in that lab, they're learning. The first week they had tools in their hand, and they see what and they don't realize maybe that they're learning construction math, because everyone has a tape measure, everyone's doing, and it's just the hands-on learning is the key. These are not the people who want to sit and get. They want to be active and moving, and it's not a traditional classroom setting, and they're not traditional students. We have one man in the program. You've probably seen me talk about him on Facebook. His name is Jerry Foster, and he's 88, will be 89 this month. He started a program years ago at Gadsden State in electrical, worked at Goodyear for years, and he said, I want to come back and finish this. This is something I started years ago. I probably will never work. Well, so I was afraid the craft training program would say, wait, why you got someone in there that can't go to work? He's one of my biggest PR. People see Mr. Jerry. He's talking about it in the community. People are talking about him, and it is so amazing what Mr. Jerry knows. He might go over to someone whose other partner is not there that day, and he's saying, you did this wrong, you need to listen to this, and he's picked up on things, because we finally reached his skill level after being in it for 7 weeks. But we have people from dropping out of high school, and they're probably 21 now, to people who are in their 80s. It's all walks of life, and the diversity is so amazing to see people who are unlikely friends, and they're there together. And I think they all enjoy that. But how do I keep them? I don't. They love those professors. You wouldn't believe how many will call me and say, I can't come today. My baby is sick. I'll be there. Like, I can't come on Monday, Tuesday. I'll be there Wednesday and Thursday. No one's asked them to report. That's how committed they are to this. Also, I've had one person who's going to drop out. He needs a job, and the way his job is, he won't be able to make it to the classes. He's already signed back up for May, because it'll work with his schedule, because we're having a 5:30 class. So he will be a dropout. He's my first one, but I don't consider that a loss, because he's already re-enrolled.
Right.
I really thought people were going to enroll, and then because the CICT board contacts had told me, people, it even says, how many people do you think will drop out? And it's amazing. I had a girl break her leg. She works with mentally handicapped adults in the evenings. A lot of our people work third shift, and she had broke her leg, and I thought she's going to drop out. 1 week later, she was back.
Wow.
Had a man have a heart attack. He was like, give me 2 weeks. I'll be back to the electric program. It's like they want this information so badly that it's just, again, I have to say it must be our instructors, because I just sit in awe of what they're training them.
And that work ethic is, we try to teach work ethic and that desire to learn, and sometimes it just has to come naturally. And it's great that you've got people enrolling in the program who have that already, that they're willing and wanting to learn, and they're eager to gather more information about these trades.
Yes, and I feel like these are people that, just like my own kids, you can't tell them until they realize that, you can't. until you've experienced it, you don't realize. And I think these are all people who've tried a different route and they are like, I need this training. I have to have this training in order to get out of a cycle of poverty or get out of a situation or to help my family. And now they're willing to work third shift, sleep a little bit, come into this program. And I think, God, that's just amazing to me, because you don't see that a lot anymore.
You don't. You really don't. It's important to point out that at the end of the program, the students will finish the program. They'll do their testing, and they will finish this program with certifications from OSHA and from NCCER that are industry recognized certifications. It's not just Lana Bellew signing a sheet of paper said they did the class. Yeah, it is a nationwide recognized certification that they can take with them, put on their resume, that they've gone through this program, and employers throughout the nation recognize what that certification is, and it's valuable to them.
Yes, and here's another just invaluable resource. I called the Career One-Stop Center, and I said, hey, I'm with Grace Academy. We have people who are going to be in a point where they need some on-the-job training. I have different people out in the community who are willing to put them to work, but is there any funding for this to help them pay for the on-the-job training? Well,
there is
the WIOA funds, but just so happens one of Gadsden City's board members, Adrienne Reed, that's what she's over. So she came over, met with us, and so she met with our partners, and Trent Thrasher Construction, Butler Electric, Chris Manchin Plumbing, some other people, and so she will have forms for them where it will pay a portion of their on-the-job training salary, and they will only pick up a portion of it. And then also our students, it pays for their entire summer work. Mm-hmm. So it's amazing how we're braiding funds, I guess you would call it, to make this a successful program.
That's the buzzword we're using now, is being able to braid funds in order to make this work. And the fact that you guys have, on the surface, I know you guys have been working really hard behind the scenes, but you've made it look easy to bring these different entities together, and you've taken the right steps at the right moments, and having the whole community and all of these agencies working together. So kudos to you guys for making this happen so well.
Well, I do not take any credit, but I will tell you, I've never seen so much community buy-in. I mean, I'm amazed. And I do feel like that the county commission and people who are trying to attract industry to this area, when they see, and I'm hoping like the county commission will put Grace Academy on their website. So when people are looking at bringing a tier of supplier here, or bringing something to the, I forgot what it's called now. It used to be the whatever. I think when they want to put that a plant there, they can see that we have such a skilled workforce.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's
and opportunities. When they come in to build their new plants, they're going to want to know what kind of workforce the construction industry has, because they got to build things, and then they see that we are training construction industry workers right there in the community. That you can't help but take that as a major plus for the community.
Right. And again, I could have never envisioned that Gadsden State would have stepped up and offered what they've offered. And again, we're not competing with Gadsden State. If our people can get more training and get back in school or get into school, we encourage that. But at the same time, they're still having the skills to go to work in the meantime while they are in, most of them couldn't just go to school, but they would have to work also. So it's just been, again, phenomenal, the relationship building and how people have just worked together. We couldn't have orchestrated it better if we'd planned it.
Talk about how to get involved, whether you are a potential student, whether you're an industry partner who wants to partner with you guys. What's the best way for contact information and things like that, so that they can find out more about registering for classes and being involved?
They can contact me. My number is 256-481-2082. And I can tell if it's a potential participant, if it's someone who wants to come and look, tour, if it's a parent who wants to see about getting their child involved, if it's someone who just wants to see what we're doing, if it's somebody that wants to donate some tools, I will tell you this, have been put in touch with some wonderful, I don't know how, again, DeWalt they've donated so many tools to us. They donated 120 pair of safety glasses. And again, this was just from people talking about our program, and the word spread, and they contacted me and sent us all of these free tools. And we had some funds to buy tools, but you always need more. And so people don't have to wait on us, I need that. So no longer, they're sending this week some OSHA, I don't think you call it certified, but maybe certified, OSHA certified extension cords. We needed some, bright extension cords. Anyway, they're just those industries have been so wonderful to donate to us. So, again, if it's someone who might be a contractor that has excess wood, if you have some metal studs, anything left over at a job site, if we could pick it up to let our kids learn to use it, in their training, then we would love to be your partner, or.
That's just amazing, the buy-in that you're getting there. And like I said, kudos to you guys for all the work that has gone into making this successful. I'm really proud to see that it's working.
Well, I hope that y'all will come over, and I know we posted videos and we post a lot of pictures, but you just have to see it to understand how it's just the most innovative thing. And this first year, we bought very nice tables for the students to work on, because we didn't want to buy anything that wasn't going to last. We hope that Grace Academy is here to stay. So we bought very nice things, and we couldn't buy as much because we wanted to buy quality. So, we don't have tons of tables. We don't have tons of stools, but we have the kind that will last for, years to come in the program. So I would love people to come over and see what we've done.
Great. You give us your phone number one more time for folks that might be interested.
It's 256-481-2082. And we start our second cohort May 22nd.
May 22nd.
You would have to sign up before May 22nd.
Right. So give Lana a call if you want more information about Grace Academy or the new drive program for CDL training and forklift training. And whether you're business or industry or a potential student, you'll want to check this out. And Lana, I'll look forward to coming by myself. I haven't made it by yet, but I know we've talked about it, and I will be coming soon to see what all you have going on there.
Well, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. And folks, thank you for joining us as well for the East Alabama Works video podcast series. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.